Hi, Year 2. Welcome to the last instalment of Little Red Riding Wolf. So we are going to read the last part of the book and see what happens. So far we know we've got Little Wolfie, the big bad girl, and we know the big bad girl has a dad who makes hats and she doesn't like the hats, so she gives them away to people in the forest. And she gave away a hat to Little Wolfie, and she lied to Little Wolfie and said that his grandma made it. And so we're going to pick up where we left off, which was the big bad girl climbing into the back window so she could pretend to be old Granny Wolf. So Little Wolfie said, old Granny Wolf, it's I, Little Red Riding Wolf in my brand new hat. Holy hopping, hedgehog droppings, that was quick, said the big bad girl. She ran upstairs and searched for somewhere to hide. She noticed a huge bed, but how could she make herself look like an old Granny Wolf? I wonder what she's going to do. On a hook on the back of the door, the big bad girl found old Granny Wolf's pink lacy nightcap. Little Wolfie had bought it for old Granny Wolf's birthday, but she never really wore it. Of course, the big bad girl hated hats. And this one was even worse than the Red Riding hat. But the big bad girl had no choice. She pulled the ghastly nightcap right down to her eyes and climbed into the bed. Just as Little Red Riding Wolf came running up the stairs. Skippity skip, look, there is the big bad girl dressed up as Granny Wolf. Old Granny Wolf, where are you? He called. Over here, little woolly hoodhead, answered the big bad girl. Oh, old Granny Wolf, thank you for the beautiful hat you made me. Doesn't it look wonderful? Yeah, little bobble brain, really wicked, replied the big bad girl. But old Granny Wolf, what a tiny voice you have, and what small teeth you have too. Perhaps you are still poorly. You seem so pale and weedy today. Listen, little jam man, you should learn not to make personal remarks, snapped the big bad girl. What do we think might happen next? But old Granny Wolf, what small ears you have. In fact, I don't think you're my Granny Wolf at all. She is much bigger than you. At that precise moment, old Granny Wolf pushed open the door. I need to get my pages. There we go. Old Granny Wolf was enormous. She had huge yellow eyes, big sharp teeth, and a long dribbly tongue. She was carrying a great sharp axe. She is enormous. Ah, little Wolfie, she said, what a nice surprise. You're just in time for tea. But why are you wearing that ridiculous hat? And what is this thing in my bed? It looks like a big bad girl. A very tasty big bad girl. Just right for my big bad tea. What do you think is going to happen? The big bad girl leapt out of bed, down the stairs, out the door, into the forest and along the path as fast as her big bad legs would carry her. She hammered on her father's door. Father, father, yelled the big bad girl. Let me in. I'll be good. I'll do whatever you ask. I wonder how she's feeling now. Her father peeped out of the window. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. There was his daughter wearing a delightful nightcap. It reminded him of one he'd made himself many years before. He remembered it well because it was the only one he'd ever sold. I will let you in, he said, but only if you promise to wear a hat night and day. The one you're wearing now suits you beautifully. And from that day on, the big bad girl became a big good girl for most of the time. She found a job as a woodcutter, and her boss kept a very careful, big yellow eye on her. The big good girl kept her promise to wear a hat every day, although it was usually a chainsaw helmet. So there she is, a woodcutter now, and there's her boss. Who's her boss? and the Red Riding Hat was useful. Have a look. When they had an especially heavy load. So you can see there's the Red Riding Hat. And they're pulling it along full of wood that they've chopped. I hope you enjoyed Little Red Riding Wolf. I'll be back tomorrow with a different story, and I'll be back next week. If you have any suggestions or requests about what I could read, let me know. Bye, you two.